Welcome to part 2. So what we're going to do now is save the document in your work area, which is obviously the S16 port RTF, and I would do that right away. As I said, you don't leave it till later, and the reason for that is because the next thing you're going to be doing is displaying today's date and the automated file name. So it's going to want evidence of where you saved that file. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and I would either save this to your P drive or the documents area that you actually have access to in your exam login. Okay, I'm going to save this just outside my exam file, okay, which is where I would obviously, so if you have access to exam files, then I would save it somewhere else, like my documents or wherever you're entitled to. So I'm going to save that file, and it's now saved. So it says save the document, use the format of your software and give the document a new name. As you can see, I didn't do that. I didn't read the question properly. So please make sure you read the question, because I noticed that is one of the problems your year group has. You don't read things properly. Okay, so I'm going to save that again, and I'm going to give it a new name. Okay. So I'm going to go to 2016 exam, and I'm going to go just outside the files. I'm here now. So I'm going to call it article port. Okay, and maybe I'll put my candidate number on the end there. Okay, which might be a good idea. So I'm going to save that. Right, so now it says enter the header, and as I said, don't just go in and make a header. Read what it says. It says enter the header in your name, candidate number left aligned, your centre number right aligned. Okay, so I'm just going to extend this, and I'm going to go to view. I think it is, no, sorry, I'm going to go to home. Okay, so insert, and look for where it says header. Here it is, header. And what I'm going to choose is these blank free columns, because as you can see, I can left align and I can right align with no problems. So I'm going to type that in here. So again, follow the document closely, please. Okay, don't make any mistakes. You will lose marks for it. And as you can see, this area here is 2 marks. You could end up with either 1 mark or you could end up with 0. Okay, but if you do it right, you'll obviously end up with 2 marks. And every mark adds up, every mark counts, so don't mess it up, please. So, my name, okay, which I'm going to type in, it's just Miss Price, and then press enter, and I'm going to put in my candidate number, and make sure you get your candidate number right. Obviously, I don't have a candidate number, so I'm just making one up. Okay, so that's that done. And now it says your centre number right aligned. So I'm going to get rid of this middle section here because we don't need it. And it will appear on every page unless you get rid of it. And here I'm going to sort out my centre number. So centre number, which I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go, it's done. I'm going to close the header. Now I'm going to go to the next section, which is the footer. Okay, so the footer, it says an automated file name, which is to be left aligned, and today's date. Okay, so again we go to insert, and we go to footer, and I'm going to choose the blank free columns again. So first thing we need to do is the automated file name, which is left aligned. So here we are, left aligned, and then I go to quick parts. I select no, it's not in quick parts, apologies. I'm just going to extend this. So it is document info, I believe, file path. There we go. Okay, so we'll put that in there, that's the file path. And then we need to get rid of this middle section because we don't need it. And then I'm going to insert today's date. okay, which is right aligned here, and that's when I go to quick parts and I go to field and select date and time, and I select today's date, which is here. Okay, so that's that done now. That's that evidence provided. So now we've put our headers and footers on. We need to check on every page. So you can see my headers on page 1 here. So if we scroll down to page 2 and page 1, you can see that the headers and footers are here. So that is successful and that has worked. Right, next thing we need to do is, it says, create or edit these paragraph styles to be applied in a text document. Refer to the house style specification sheet for details of these. So that's the title, subtitle, subheading and body text. Now, if we go to the style sheet at the top here, these are the styles here. So this is why I said we need to make sure that we read the exam document and we are familiar with it, because it would be so easy for you to look at that question and say, well, what do I do here? Okay, and the invigilator won't tell you that. So that's why I always need to make sure that we read and we are familiar with our exam document. Okay, because we don't want it to be too late and you're doing all the wrong things. So, how we do these? It's quite simple really, okay, but we need to set them up first. So, we go to, you see here, these are the paragraph styles, okay, and we need to edit those. Some of them are already named title, subtitle, okay, so what we just need to do is we need to just simply edit them. Now, so the first one says, title, font, sans serif. Okay, so if we remember what a sans serif font is, I'm going to remind you, obviously you can't do this in the exam. So, I'm going to type in sans serif and, sorry I'm spelling it wrong, sans serif and serif fonts. Okay, and then when we go to images, we can see examples here. Okay, so there we go. You can see a serif font. It looks kind of old-fashioned. It's got thin strokes here and tails on the letters, and a sans serif font doesn't. So serif would be old, and then later came sans serif. Okay, so they're more modern. Okay, examples are here, like sans serif would be Times New Roman, and also sans serif, so serif is Times New Roman, sans serif would be Comic Sans, which I wouldn't recommend you using, or Verdana. Okay, so I'm going to stick to 2. So for my serif font, I'm going to stick to Times New Roman, and for my sans serif font, I'm going to stick to Verdana. Okay, right. Okay, so I'm going to edit that title. So here we are. Right click, modify. So I'm going to keep the name and title, and I'm going to choose, because it says here, what do we need? We need a sans serif font, so we need a modern font. Okay, so like I said to you, I'm going to stick to Verdana. I mean, obviously you can choose any sans serif font that you are comfortable with, but for my exam I would just want 2 in my head, and that's it. And those 2, I know what they would be, and I would simply be quite comfortable with that. So I'm scrolling down to Verdana. We can probably type it in actually. There we go, Verdana. And we need to look at the 24 point. And the alignment is center aligned. Now let's check. Now be careful with this. You can see this is set to bold. We don't want bold. It doesn't say that. So that's our text done for the title. That's there when we need it. Okay, which is right here, as you can see. Then we go to subtitle. Font, again, is a sans serif, 18 points, italic, underlined, and right aligned. So here's our subtitle. Right click, modify. So I'm going to choose, again, Verdana, and it's here now. and I'm going to double check it's 18 points. And I believe they wanted it bold and underlined. Let's just double check that. No, I was wrong. They want italic underlined. Okay, so italic and underlined and right aligned. Okay, no, that's not right aligned. Oops, that's not it. There we are. Right aligned is right here. Okay, so here we are. Right aligned, center aligned, and we're done. Okay, so press OK. Right, I'm just going to double check that title in case I clicked on the wrong thing, which I may have done, and I did. Okay, so nope, I didn't. It's right here, it's fine, but it's always better to just double check, just make sure that, you know, things are right. So now we've got to create another one for subheading, another sans serif font. 12 points, single line spacing with one clear line space after subheading. So, right, I'm running out of time on this, so please come back for part 3 to finish that section.